The massive space station hummed with its usual mechanical rhythm, a constant pulse of energy and activity. J. Park leaned against the maintenance bay wall, his hands buried deep in his worn mechanic's overalls. Around him, the usual mix of human and alien workers moved like a well-choreographed dance, each focused on their own tasks. The first sign of trouble came as a faint vibration. Most would have missed it, but not Jay. His fingers, calloused from years of precise mechanical work, could feel the slightest irregularity in the station's systems. Something was approaching, something damaged. A distant alarm confirmed his suspicion. The station's communication system crackled to life, projecting a weak distress signal. Most of the other mechanics continued their work, used to false alarms and routine emergencies. But Jay was different. He moved with a quiet determination, grabbing his specialized toolkit and heading towards the incoming vessel's designated docking area. Through the massive observation window, he saw it, a sleek alien craft, its exterior scarred and burning, with residual energy discharges. The ship moved erratically like a wounded animal struggling to maintain its course. Standard docking protocols would have rejected such a vessel, but something about its desperate approach caught Jay's attention. As the ship drew closer, Jay could see the extensive damage. Quantum drive indicators were flickering, hull integrity was compromised, and multiple external systems were failing. Any other pilot would have been stranded in deep space, but this one was fighting, pushing the ship beyond its apparent limits. The docking clamps engaged with a metallic groan. Standard decontamination protocols initiated automatically, scanning the vessel for potential biological or technological threats. Jay watched, his professional curiosity growing with each passing moment. The ship's hatch began to open, revealing a figure that was unmistakably alien yet strangely familiar. A female pilot, her skin a pale blue-gray, her eyes large and intelligent, stumbled forward. She was injured, but her movement suggested more exhaustion than serious physical damage. "Help," she said in broken station standard language, her voice carrying a mixture of desperation and pride. Jay stepped forward, his hands already assessing the situation. Years of working on various alien technologies had taught him to read more than just mechanical systems. He could see the story of her journey written in the ship's damaged components and her own weary posture. "What happened?" he asked, keeping his voice calm and professional. The alien pilot, Yoon-ji, she would later introduce herself, began to explain. Her story was a complex mix of technological failure, unexpected cosmic radiation, and a journey that had pushed both her and her ship to their absolute limits. Jay listened carefully, his mind already calculating repair strategies. Most mechanics would have seen an impossible task. To Jay, it was just another challenge waiting to be solved. The station's medical team approached, but Jay waved them away. This wasn't a medical emergency. This was a mechanical problem. And mechanical problems were his specialty. "I can help you," he said simply, pulling out a specialized diagnostic tool from his toolkit. The device looked like a cross between a traditional scanner and something from a science fiction movie, a testament to human innovation and Jay's personal modifications. Yoon-ji watched him, a mixture of hope and skepticism in her large, expressive eyes. She had traveled countless light years, survived impossible odds, only to potentially be turned away now. But something in Jay's confident posture suggested otherwise. As the first diagnostic readings began to appear, Jay allowed himself a slight smile. This was going to be interesting. The maintenance bay around them continued its rhythmic work, unaware that this moment would become something more than just another routine repair. Something was about to change. For the ship, for the pilot, and most importantly for Jay Park. The diagnostic screen flickered with complex data streams, a language of numbers and technical symbols that most would find incomprehensible. Jay understood every single line. The quantum drive was more than just damaged. It was a technological nightmare waiting to collapse. Yoon-ji watched nervously as Jay moved around her ship, his fingers tracing damaged quantum coupling systems with a strange mixture of gentleness and precision. Alien technology was typically light years ahead of human engineering, but this particular system had reached its absolute limit. "This is not repairable," Yunji muttered in her native language, a sound that resembled a soft mechanical whisper. Jay understood more than she realized. He had spent years working on diverse alien spacecraft, developing an intuitive understanding that went beyond standard mechanical knowledge. Where others saw impossible challenges, he saw puzzles waiting to be solved. The quantum drive's core was a delicate network of entangled particles, each connection representing a complex mathematical relationship. Most repair teams would have immediately recommended complete replacement. But Jay saw something different: potential. He pulled out a collection of modified human tools, each one customized through years of personal innovation. Some looked like traditional wrenches, while others appeared to be something between scientific instruments and mechanical devices. To an untrained eye, they seemed random. To Jay, they were precision instruments. The first step was understanding the failure mechanism. The quantum entanglement had broken down in multiple critical points, creating a cascading failure that would normally render the entire system useless. Normal repair protocols would require complete replacement, which would take months and cost astronomical amounts. Jay didn't believe in normal protocols. He began by isolating the most damaged quantum couplings, using a specialized magnetic resonance tool that he had developed during previous repair missions. The device hummed with a soft blue energy, carefully realigning quantum states that had been disrupted. Yunji leaned closer, her technical training making her both curious and skeptical. "Human technology cannot repair this," she stated, more as a challenge than a fact. Jay simply smiled. He had heard such statements before. Each movement was calculated, each adjustment precise. He was essentially performing microsurgery on a technological organism, rebuilding connections that most would consider permanently severed. His hands moved with a rhythm that suggested he was listening to the machine's internal language. The station's other mechanics occasionally glanced over, some with curiosity, others with professional skepticism. Alien ship repairs were complex, and this particular vessel looked beyond salvation. But they had learned not to underestimate Jay Park. Quantum mechanics wasn't just a scientific discipline for Jay, it was a form of art. He understood that particles weren't just static components but dynamic systems with their own intricate relationships. Where traditional engineers saw barriers, he saw opportunities. Hours passed. The ship's internal systems began to show subtle changes. Energy flows that had been erratic started to stabilize. Quantum couplings that had been completely disconnected began to show signs of potential reconnection. Yunji watched in growing amazement. Her own civilization's best engineers would have considered this repair impossible. Yet here was a human mechanic, systematically rebuilding what seemed irreparably broken. Jay worked without unnecessary conversation, his concentration absolute. Each micro-adjustment was a careful negotiation between damaged technological systems. He was essentially teaching the quantum drive how to heal itself, creating pathways where none existed before. As the final quantum coupling realigned, a soft blue light spread through the ship's systems. It wasn't just a repair, it was a resurrection. Yunji couldn't help but ask the question burning in her mind. How is this possible? Jay looked up, his eyes reflecting both technical mastery and something more, a deep, almost philosophical understanding of technological potential. "Humans are good at solving problems," he said simply, "especially when everyone says it's impossible." The quantum drive hummed to life, its energy signatures now strong and stable. What had once been a critically damaged system was now functioning better than its original configuration. The repair bay had grown quiet, with only the soft hum of reactivating systems breaking the silence. Yunji watched Jay work, her initial skepticism transforming into genuine fascination. Humans were supposed to be technological novices, yet this mechanic moved with a confidence that challenged everything she knew. Jay's hands continued their precise dance across the ship's control panels. Each touch seemed to communicate something deeper than simple mechanical intervention. He wasn't just fixing a machine, he was understanding it, speaking a language of circuits and quantum pathways that transcended traditional repair techniques. Your methods, Yunji finally spoke, breaking the silence. They are not in any technical manual I know. Jay chuckled softly. Manuals are guidelines. Innovation happens between the lines. The ship's systems began responding in ways Yunji had never seen. Quantum stabilizers that should have taken weeks to recalibrate were now functioning at near-perfect efficiency. Her advanced alien technology was being transformed by human creativity. She noticed something peculiar. Jay wasn't just repairing, he was improving. Small modifications appeared throughout the system, creating efficiency pathways that her own engineers would have considered impossible. A human mechanic was essentially redesigning an advanced alien spacecraft's core systems. "How are you doing?" "This," she whispered, a mixture of professional respect and personal amazement in her voice. Jay pointed to a modified quantum coupling he had reconstructed. "See these micro-bridges? They create alternative energy transfer routes. Your original design had potential bottlenecks. I'm redistributing energy flow." Each explanation was simple yet profound. He wasn't showing off technical knowledge, he was sharing a perspective. Humans solved problems differently. Where alien technologies followed rigid mathematical models, human innovation embraced adaptability. The ship's computer began running diagnostic sequences. Yunji watched in disbelief as performance metrics started climbing beyond their original specifications. What was supposed to be a simple repair was becoming a technological revolution. Jay worked without ego, without unnecessary drama. His focus was pure problem-solving, a practical approach that seemed almost meditative. He understood machines not as complex objects, but as dynamic systems waiting to be understood. Unexpected challenges appeared. Quantum entanglement issues that should have required complete system replacement were being resolved through creative engineering. Jay treated each problem like a puzzle, finding solutions where others would see only obstacles. "In my civilization," Unji explained, "we would have abandoned this vessel. Replacement is easier than repair." Jay's response was simple. "Replacement is expensive. Repair requires understanding." Hours passed. The ship transformed. What had been a critically damaged spacecraft was becoming something more, a testament to human innovative spirit. Each modified system told a story of creative problem-solving. Yunji began to understand something profound. This wasn't just about mechanical repair. It was about a fundamentally different approach to technological challenges. Humans didn't just follow rules, they reimagined them. The final diagnostic sequence revealed something extraordinary. The ship wasn't just repaired, it was enhanced. Efficiency had increased by 47%. Energy consumption had dropped by 35%. Quantum stability was now beyond original manufacturer specifications. "Impossible," Yunji muttered. Jay simply smiled. "Nothing is impossible. Some things just require different perspectives." As system after system came online, a new understanding emerged. This wasn't just a repair. It was a collaboration between human creativity and alien technological potential. Two different approaches to problem-solving, finding common ground. In innovation, the ship's core systems pulsed with new energy, a living testament to what happens when different technological cultures meet. Jay had done more than fix a spacecraft. He had opened a window into human potential. Yunji looked at the mechanic with newfound respect. Humans were not technological children. They were innovative pioneers, capable of seeing solutions where others saw only problems. "Thank you," she said simply. The station's communication hub buzzed with unusual activity. News of Jay's remarkable repair had spread quickly, crossing multiple alien communication networks faster than light itself. What started as a routine maintenance job was becoming something much larger. Yunji's communication device chirped with incoming signals. Her civilization's technical council was requesting a full report. Typically, such reports were dry technical documents. But this would be different. They want to know about you, she told Jay, her large eyes reflecting a mix of professional excitement and personal curiosity. Jay remained calm, continuing to make final adjustments to her ship's systems. He wasn't interested in fame or recognition. For him, solving problems was simply what he did. The technical exchange began formally. Representatives from Yunji's civilization appeared as holographic projections, their translucent forms flickering, in the maintenance bay. They spoke in precise mathematical language, requesting detailed information about Jay's repair techniques. What they received was more than just technical data. Jay explained his approach not as a series of steps, but as a philosophy of problem solving. He talked about human adaptability, about seeing challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. The alien representatives listened carefully. Their initial skepticism gradually transformed into genuine interest. Humans were often viewed as technological newcomers in the galactic community. This mechanic was challenging that perception completely. As a gesture of appreciation, the Alien Council offered something unprecedented: a complete technological database, centuries of advanced engineering knowledge compressed into a single data crystal. The value was beyond monetary measurement. "This is more than payment," Yunji explained. "This is an invitation to understand." Jay examined the data crystal. Its surface shimmered with complex holographic patterns containing more information than entire human research institutions could process in decades. Most would see this as a treasure. Jay saw it as a responsibility. The station's administrators became interested. This wasn't just a simple repair anymore. It was potentially a diplomatic breakthrough. Humans had always been considered technically inferior by many advanced alien civilizations. Jay was changing that narrative. News networks began picking up the story. A human mechanic who could repair an advanced alien spacecraft wasn't just news. It was a statement about human potential. Politicians and technical experts started discussing the implications. Yunji watched Jay's reaction to all this attention. He remained unchanged. No ego, no excitement, just a calm focus on understanding the new technological information he had received. "What will you do with this?" she asked, pointing to the data crystal. Jay's response was characteristically simple: learn, share, improve. The technological exchange represented more than just information transfer. It was a bridge between different technological cultures. Humans weren't just receiving knowledge, they were being recognized as potential equals. In the galactic technological community, station administrators began discussing broader implications. This could open new collaborative opportunities, research partnerships, technology sharing. A small repair job was becoming a potential turning point in human-alien technological relations. Jay understood something deeper. Technology wasn't just about complexity. It was about perspective, about seeing potential where others saw limitations. His approach wasn't about having the most advanced tools, but about understanding how to use what was available. The data crystal contained propulsion designs that would revolutionize human space exploration, quantum computing models that could solve problems considered impossible, energy transfer techniques that could transform entire industrial sectors. But for Jay, it was simply the next problem to solve, the next opportunity to understand. As station lights dimmed, marking the end of another work cycle, Yunji looked at the human mechanic with newfound respect. He had done more than repair a ship. He had opened a door to a broader understanding. "Your civilization is more interesting than our databases suggested," she said softly. Jay just smiled. Another day, another challenge solved. 6 months after the unexpected repair, Jay Park's life had transformed completely. What began as a routine maintenance job had become a gateway to something much larger. The technological database he received wasn't just information, it was an invitation to a new world of possibilities. Research institutions across Earth competed for his attention. Universities wanted him to lecture. Space exploration agencies saw him as a potential game changer. But Jay remained focused on what mattered most: understanding and innovation. Yunji had become more than just a client. She was now a professional. Contact. a bridge between human and alien technological understanding. Their communication continued, sharing insights and challenging each technological assumption. The first major breakthrough came unexpectedly. Using the alien database, Jay developed a new quantum propulsion concept that could reduce interstellar travel time by nearly 60%. Traditional engineers had deemed such improvements impossible. Jay saw them as simply unexplored opportunities. Government research centers became interested. What had started as a personal repair project was now potentially transforming human space exploration capabilities. Jay found himself at the center of a technological revolution he never planned. His workshop, once a simple maintenance bay, now looked like an advanced research laboratory. Holographic displays showed complex quantum models, modified tools that combined human creativity with alien technological insights, covered every available surface. "You're changing everything," Yunji told him during one of their regular communication sessions. Jay remained humble. "I'm just solving problems," he would respond, a phrase that had become almost legendary in technological circles. The galactic technological community watched with growing interest. Humans were no longer seen as technological children. They were becoming innovative partners, capable of seeing solutions where others saw only challenges. Space exploration agencies began developing new collaborative programs. Mixed human-alien research teams became more common. Jay's approach to problem-solving was becoming a model for cross-cultural technological development. His modifications weren't just theoretical. Prototype spacecraft began incorporating his innovative design principles. Energy efficiency improved. Quantum stability became more predictable. What seemed like small adjustments created massive technological shifts. Political implications followed technological breakthroughs. Diplomatic relationships between humans and various alien civilizations became more collaborative. A simple mechanic had become an unexpected ambassador of human potential. Research teams studied Jay's approach. It wasn't about having the most advanced tools, but about understanding how to use available resources creatively. His philosophy of innovation began to be taught in technical academies across multiple civilizations. Yunji's civilization officially recognized Jay with their highest technical achievement award, something unprecedented for a non-native species. The ceremony was broadcast across multiple planetary networks, symbolizing a new era of technological collaboration. "Humans surprise us," senior alien technical advisors would say, referencing Jay's remarkable journey. The data crystal that started everything remained in Jay's primary workspace, a reminder of how a single moment of creative problem-solving could change everything. It was more than a technological artifact. It was a symbol of human potential. Space exploration timelines accelerated. Technological barriers that seemed insurmountable began to crumble. Humans were no longer playing catch-up. They were becoming leaders in technological innovation. Jay continued working, largely unchanged by the growing recognition. For him, each challenge was simply another problem waiting to be solved. Fame, recognition, these were secondary to the joy of understanding. "What's next?" Yunji would ask during their regular discussions. Jay's response remained consistent. "There's always another problem waiting." The galaxy had changed, not through massive political declarations or complex diplomatic negotiations, but through the hands of a simple mechanic who believed that every challenge was an opportunity. As station lights reflected off his modified tools, Jay Park continued working. Another day, another problem, another opportunity to understand. The frontier of human potential had just expanded, and it all started with a simple spacecraft repair. The universe watched and waited, knowing something remarkable was happening.